There's a log cabin near Roanoke that was built in 1857. The family that lives in it now is the fifth generation to occupy the building. The logs are sound. The roof is intact. The foundation is level. It'll almost certainly still be standing in another 100 years. The average new house built in America today has a design life of about 60 years. Some hold up longer than that. Many need serious structural work well before it. The materials are better. The tools are better. The engineering is better. So why do old cabins outlast new houses? Here's what the mountain builders got right, and what modern construction routinely gets wrong. Start with siding, because everything else follows from it. A mountain builder in 1857 spent weeks choosing where to put the cabin. He walked the land in different seasons. He watched where water flowed after a rain. He noted where the sun hit through the day. He looked for a piece of high ground with natural drainage, near a spring but not on top of it, sheltered from prevailing wind by trees, or a hillside but not so tucked in that the ground stayed damp. The whole logic of siting a cabin came down to one thing: keep the building dry. Water is the enemy of every house ever built. Wet wood rots. Wet foundations settle unevenly. Wet insulation loses its value. If you can build in a place where water flows away from the house instead of toward it, where snow melts and rain runs off before it can seep in, the house will outlast you by generations. Modern construction, by comparison, often builds where the developer bought land. The lot is what it is. The house goes on the flat spot, or the graded spot, and drainage is handled with pipes and grading rather than by having chosen well in the first place. That works when the drainage systems are maintained. It fails badly when they aren't. The mountain builder's foundation was the next win. Traditional cabins were set on stone piers or a low stone foundation, never on wooden posts sunk in the ground. Wood in direct contact with soil rots. Always, even the best wood. Stone doesn't. By raising the cabin on stone, with a crawl space between the ground and the wooden floor, the mountain builder gave the wood a chance to stay dry, and the whole structure a chance to breathe. Modern houses on slab foundations trade this dryness for the convenience of a level, ground-hugging floor. When the slab drains work, everything is fine. When they fail, and moisture wicks up through the concrete into wood framing above, the house rots from the ground up. A raised foundation is more expensive and less convenient. It also lasts longer. The mountain roof was the third big win. Old cabins were built with generous overhangs. The roof extended 2 to 4 feet past the walls on every side. That overhang did two things. It kept rain from running down the walls, and it shaded the walls from the sun. Rain running down walls is the second biggest cause of house decay, right after ground moisture. A wall constantly getting wet is a wall that never dries, and every joint, every seam, every window frame becomes a point where water works its way inside. A generous roof overhang directs the rain out and away from the walls, so the walls only get truly wet in the worst horizontal driving storms, which are rare. Modern houses often have minimal overhangs, sometimes almost none. This is done for architectural style. It's a style choice that shortens the life of the building measurably. If this is the kind of mountain knowledge you want more of, our free Appalachian Almanac goes out every Sunday. One real method, sourced and tested, in your inbox. Links in the description. Now, the other three big differences. The wood was better. A cabin built in 1857 was built from trees that had grown in old-growth forest, over a century or more, in dense stands where they grew slowly and produced tight, dense, strong wood. That wood was different from what you buy at a modern lumber yard, which comes from plantation-grown trees harvested at 30 or 40 years, grown fast in open conditions, with wide growth rings and softer, less dense wood. You can't get that old wood anymore. The old-growth forests are largely gone. Modern building has to work with modern lumber, which is real and usable, but different from what the mountain builders had. Some of the outsized durability of old cabins is due, honestly, to the quality of the wood they were built from. That's not a design lesson we can copy. It's a resource that's mostly gone. Ventilation was better. A well-built log cabin breathed. The chinking sealed the walls against wind and rain, but not against every molecule of air movement. The attic vented naturally. The crawl space breathed. Moisture that got into the building, from cooking, breathing, weather, had a way out. Modern houses are built tight, which is efficient for heating and cooling, but which requires deliberate mechanical ventilation to move moisture out. When that ventilation isn't properly designed or is skipped by the builder, moisture builds up in walls and attics and does slow, invisible damage over decades. The construction was honest. A mountain builder in 1857 was building a house for himself and his family. He knew what he was doing. He took the time. The joints were fitted carefully because they had to hold up for the rest of his life. Nothing was hidden behind drywall. Every piece of the structure was visible, testable, reparable. Modern construction is often done by crews under time pressure, with the actual quality of the work hidden behind finished surfaces the moment it's done. A mistake in framing, a poorly nailed sheathing panel, a shortcut on flashing. None of these show up for years, sometimes decades, and by the time they do, the crew is long gone. This isn't a moral failing of modern builders as a class. It's the natural result of an industry structured around speed and hidden work. Now, what any of this means for a modern homeowner? You probably can't rebuild your house. But if you're buying, remodeling, or building, some of the mountain principles still apply directly. Choose the site carefully if you have any choice. High ground, natural drainage away from the building, sun exposure on the walls that need to dry. If you're building or remodeling, insist on generous roof overhangs. They cost a little more and add decades to the life of the walls. Take drainage seriously. Gutters, downspouts extending well away from the foundation, grading that slopes ground away from the house. These are the boring maintenance items that determine whether your house is still sound in 50 years. Ventilate the attic and any crawl spaces. Whatever moisture gets into the house needs a way out, or it will do slow damage. And if you can afford it, pay for good building. Cutting corners in construction costs you nothing now and costs you everything in 20 years. The mountain families paid up front in labor and care and got houses that outlasted them by generations. The math on that trade is still real. The deeper lesson is the same one this series keeps circling back to. The mountain families thought in generations, not years. They built to be still standing when their great-grandchildren were born. We've forgotten how to think that way about a house. In an era when we assume we'll move every 7 years and the house will be somebody else's problem. But somebody will live in your house in 2100. What kind of shape it's in when they do is being decided right now by the choices being made about drainage, overhangs, ventilation, and craftsmanship. The mountain builders got that math right. Most of what we're building today, we'll get to see fail. A well-chosen site, a stone foundation, a generous overhang, honest wood, honest work, and 150 years of sound roof over sound walls. The Appalachian way of building a house, and the reason a cabin from 1857 will outlast a house from 2024. The building science of foundation drainage, roof overhangs, and moisture control, and the historical references on Appalachian log cabin longevity are all linked in the description. If you want all of these methods in one place, the Appalachian Way Field Guide has 47 of them with the original sources behind each one. Link below. Real methods, real sources, real history. That's the Appalachian Way. We'll see you Monday.